It's August 2025, and I've a little update on the dragon boat, as we call it, because it's green. I got the spare tire there. I got to weld a little bracket on the front there to hold it, and we've got the primer on the base of the trailer. I got these wheel well covers for the tires. I'm going to put the lights back on, and I'm going to paint it white again. I've got a fair bit of work done on it. The old stuff stripped out. Let's roll this tarp back that I still got on it. Hatch covers off. I got to replace, it was riveted on, I got to replace just the little bolts. I stripped all the deck hardware off. I did a couple of the little patches and gel coated them again. I'm going to sand everything down, and either, I haven't decided if I'm going to just gel coat everything white again. I still got a couple more holes to fill. There's for the fresh water tank. I don't think I'm going to have that. I think I'm just going to have jugs of water that I can take in and out instead of like an internal tank. And there was 120 power there, outlet. I don't know if I'm going to have that or not. I think I'm just going to fill that hole, and I haven't decided on that. And there were some holes up in the top of the deck where the winch was. I don't know what caused those holes. I think that's where it was a cleat and it was tied off and it had ripped it out. I haven't done the external wood yet on the hatch. I'm going to try to, I haven't decided if I'm going to replace all the wood out here or just soak it in that oil, that thing. So I've been busy in here. I got the wood mostly back in. I got the hatch here. I'm going to put the batteries in here. There was a seat, the seats in the back there. I think I'm going to go with looking towards the back there. I think I'm going to go with just 2 bunks in the back again. And I haven't decided if I'm going to put styrofoam underneath there for flotation and then just seal it down that the boards can't lift off. I haven't decided because it's going to sit on top of the styrofoam, I think. So I don't think I'm going to fiberglass it to the hull. So if I do need to take them out and replace that styrofoam or whatever, I can. I got the hatch. I gotta repair that hole. There was like a valve there, and I was taking it off. I was just going to silicone around it and put it back, but just taking it off, it was so brittle it just snapped off, and I was glad I decided to take it off, because if I'd put this thing on the beach or whatever and a bit of sand or a rock rubbed against that and snapped it off, then you got a what is that, like a 1.5-inch hole just pouring into your boat. So I've decided to get rid of it. I'm just going to fiberglass that up and patch it up. I kind of drilled this hole off center because there was like a knot like this right there, and I decided I might as well just get rid of the knot. Kind of don't think it really matters that it's not perfectly in the center. Same with this hatch cover up here. I just drilled it where there was a knot. I didn't use marine grade plywood because I covered all the plywood with polyester resin. So I'm hoping that is enough to seal all those knots anyways. And this is a low cost build. The boat cost me 800 and I've put 400 into it so far, so I'm trying to keep it below $2,000 if I can. I'm going to put this little supply here. I think I'm going to seal it to the wall there just to make the bow hull pretty structurally strong. Figure if I hit any waves or whatever, that most of the force is going to be pounding in the front, not so much in the back anyway. So I thought I'd try to reinforce the front a little bit more. I've just covered this all with resin and fiberglass that I made that little piece at the front there. I think I'm going to have like a hole in the top deck, and the anchor rope and stuff is just going to sit in there, and storage and stuff if I use that one in the front for storage. I haven't put the backing plate up in this hole yet, and inside there I just ran like a 2x4 base up to the bow, and then it tees back at the back here, and that seems to have stiffened it right up good. But I wanted this at least 6'6" there to the front there, to the where the anchor locker is, so at least I'll be able to sleep there comfortably, and also storage underneath will be good. And I can sit upright. For the roof here, I got to sand it, but I found there was some banisters came out of a just freebie on the marketplace there, so I grabbed a whole bunch of the banisters. That's what I made for my tiller handle, was one of the top handrail, oak handrail, and I'm just going to use this one for one of the banisters for I guess it's like a spindle for the that ran down the stairway. Repainted and put a support on the roof there for the roof. And I've got the table that's going to go there out of an old trailer. I think it's going to work. And I'm going to put, I think, the circuit breaker and switches on that wall there to run the lights. I got to replace all the lights. I think I'm going to go with LED lights, and I think 2 lights, a fan, and the running lights, and maybe a radio. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to have a radio on this or not. For not a CB radio, but the VHF radio, I think. If I do take it into blue water, then at least I'll have some of the stuff I need, I guess. I don't know. But down the back here, that's going to be the support for the cockpit. There's not really much support. I got a board in the back there that runs underneath of it. Just have that forward. I haven't decided if I'm going to go, because that's where the water tank was in and out there. I think I'm just going to seal that up and have flotation all underneath there and storage underneath the cockpit, and just have a support here and maybe at the back. And just have to repaint, sand and repaint I'm kind of dreading the sanding part because it's so itchy with that fiberglass. And here there's kind of support now for the keel trunk, and that's all like braced up really solid now. So it's coming along, but it's a lot more work than I thought it was with all the different angles. You have the getting narrower towards the bow and that gradual sweep up the sides. When you cut a piece of wood, if you go a little bit higher in elevation, then it totally throws off the dimensions. And it's got that one dimension running, like I said, towards the front, and the stern is wider or narrower. And then when you go up the wall, it's got that shape. There's definitely a lot to measure and think about when you're cutting the bits of wood. I haven't gone too extreme on it, but it's been a fun little build so far. And just getting the weather at the right temperature to be able to fiberglass is kind of the tricky part. I don't like doing it in the rain. It doesn't seem to set up as good. Even when it's covered, the humidity doesn't seem to agree with fiberglass, and the too hot isn't good either. It just sets up so fast. And I just sanded that patch where there was like a repair underneath there. I think I'm going to cover that with a couple layers of fiberglass just to reinforce the bottom there. I think it's fine, but I figured might as well just do it while I'm here. But I've been trying to get everything done, so if I don't get finished, at least by winter time, I can put a heater in here, and or if it comes into the fall, hopefully I can get everything painted before it cools right down and we get those -30 temperatures, because I won't be doing much in those temperatures. But it's coming along. I still need a fair bit of work. I got the rudder finished, and I still have to work on the keel. I haven't decided if I'm going to melt that lead and pour it in between a mold of either stainless steel or just carbon steel. I'm kind of thinking I'd like to go stainless, but it's hard to find a piece for the price I want to pay to build a keel. Alright, I'll keep it updated next little while when I get done here.